Hello, I am Michelle Burden and welcome to Pop Talk, the program where you never know what topics might pop up. We are live streaming from Overcomers TV, and today we are broadcasting at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. It is a lot of fun because we're meeting so many new people in the world of Christian television and film, and our guest today is making a difference in her films. Lisa will introduce her now.
She sure is making a difference. Her name is Alexandra Boylan, and Alexandra and I are meeting for the first time in person, but we have known each other for a while because we're both speaking at a conference, the same conference together that our dear friend Kim Crable is putting on called the Lead Up Summit. So I've been on these Zoom sessions with Alexandra, and I just thought she seems so cool and I really want to meet her. And then when the opportunity came, I knew she was coming to NRB. I said, we have got to get her on Pop Talk, and she was excited about it. We were excited about it, and so here she is. And in fact, if you want to see us on the Lead Up Summit, I think it's going to be a powerful conference to help people with leadership skills. That web address is leadupsummit.com, leadupsummit.com, and you're going to be on there because not for me, but for what she's doing, which we're going to talk about today. And let me introduce her. Alexandra Boylan is a dynamic, award-winning filmmaker, writer, producer, and actress. She does it all. She's been working in Hollywood for nearly 2 decades. In addition to her numerous acting credits, Alexandra co-created with her sister Andrea the Boylan Sisters Production Company. It's a successful film studio that focuses on uplifting, positive, family-friendly content. So exciting. Their first feature-length film, Catching Faith, and I remember that film, streamed on Netflix for 2 years. She's produced other movies like The Greatest Inheritance, Switched, that is an incredible movie, and her latest venture is called Identity Crisis. Who has not dealt with an identity crisis? Her work has also had distribution on Universal Home Studios Entertainment, Pure Flix Entertainment, Image Entertainment, and can be found on the shelves of Walmart and Redbox. Alexandra previously published a popular how-to guide called Create Your Own Career in Hollywood. We could all learn from that one, right, if we wanted to go there. And it's advice from a struggling actress who became a successful producer. She's an active member of Women in Film Los Angeles. So good to have you. I want to give her a big hug right now. I just love her, and I've just learned to love her online and doing these meetings for our Lead Up Summit. Why don't you start at the beginning, though, Alexandra, so I can get to know you as well. How did a girl from Massachusetts end up in Los Angeles?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am from Massachusetts. My father's actually a minister, and I grew up loving telling stories and being an actress. And at 19 years old, I decided that I announced that I was moving to Los Angeles to become a movie star because, you know, as so many people think they will. And I actually moved to Los Angeles at 19 all by myself with the support of my incredible parents. And I started pursuing the industry, and I found out how hard it is. And I spent 10 years pounding the pavement, trying to work as an actor. And then, by the grace of God, I was called in to make faith-based films. And I stepped behind the camera, and I started writing and producing. And originally, I was actually giving myself the leading role, but I fell so in love with telling stories that I was like, I've got to focus on being behind the camera. So it was actually just such a God thing that he pivoted my heart from acting to telling stories, and I am so grateful, and I love what I do so much.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Alexandra, you were actually homeless for a time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How did you survive that when you were in Hollywood?
Yeah, I was wondering what Mom and Dad were saying at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were they saying?
So I've been homeless twice, actually. Once not by choice, once by choice. The first time was after 1 year in LA at 19. I was about to turn 20, and I lost my place to live. And my parents did want me to come home, and I was like praying about it, and I was like, no, I'm not giving up. I did live in my car for 1 month, but I found the most incredible apartment that was rent controlled that I ended up living in for the next 10 years. So God was protecting me and holding me to give me that. And then in 2011, when I got the opportunity to make Catching Faith, our first female-driven faith-based film, we didn't have enough money for me to keep my apartment in LA, but I felt the calling on my heart that God wanted me to do this movie. So I put everything I owned in storage, and I gave up my apartment, and I lived out of one suitcase for 1 full year to make Catching Faith a reality. And when God tells you to go, go, because He had a plan, and that movie's been seen all over the world. We've been to Cuba. The companion materials have changed women's lives, and we were in Cuba at a church telling the story, and I said, those 4 walls mean nothing to me now to see what God was going to do with my sacrifice. So,
He honors the sacrifice, doesn't He? He'll bless it.
Thank you.
He does.
What a story.
You produce a lot of young adult movies, and if you can explain a little bit more about that age group. Why do you have a heart for that particular age group?
I do, because, I grew up as a minister's kid, and I had Amy Grant. She was like our rock star, right? And I want to do what she did for music for young girls, for movies for young girls. And the more we look at the content for young girls, it's deplorable. It is terrible messaging. And so really, we were really working on doing female-led stories for women, and then we were like, we need to talk to the daughters, we need to talk to the teens, and we need to be the change that we want to see in this world. And so we started creating YA content. We wanted it to be like Disney, at the quality of Disney, for teen girls, so that they could go to school and be proud to share it with their friends and show it at a slumber party. And we have such a goal of creating excellent work that young girls can share and be proud of, and just all young people. They want to have good quality faith-based films, and that's what we're doing.
So needed, yes.
One of the movies I really love that you did is called Switched. Let's tell the audience about it and what this movie is all about.
Yes, so Switched is about 2 girls in high school. One's the bully and one's the girl she bullies. And the girl she bullies prays that the other girl would know what it's like to walk a day in her shoes. And they wake up switched, and they go on to find love and empathy and compassion for each other. We find out why the bully is a bully, and the bully finds out what it's like to go to school and take the pain of what they did to somebody else. And their whole message is love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself.
I think we should all switch with somebody.
Yes.
Don't you think? We need to appreciate
One
people
day?
a lot more.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's a really strong analogy and a parable about we don't know what anyone is going through until we walk a day in their shoes, and everyone is carrying around their own pain. And we need to have empathy, and we're really trying to bring empathy to young people to understand that when you bully someone, when you put something on social media, you can't get it back.
That's
and
right.
you can't see how it's affecting the other person. So really think before you say a cruel word.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day, that you cannot take your words back. And I'm sure all of us as adults remember something someone said to us.
Absolutely.
That was painful. Yeah, I was talking to Chuck Reich about that from Overcomers TV, and I said, you can forgive, but you don't forget. That's what he said.
I was bullied very bad in high school, and so this was a little therapy to put all that pain into something. But it's my love letter to young girls, to be like, we need to lift one another up, we need to champion each other, we need to love each other. A lot of entertainment pins women up against each other, and our goal is to create at a young age for them to see strong women relationships, so they'll grow up and have strong adult female relationships.
It's powerful. And you've got a brand new movie, right? Identity Crisis. Man, I love the title of that movie.
Thank you.
So talk with us about, in the film, how do you cover that subject?
Yes, so Identity Crisis is about a shy science whiz in college who struggles with imposter syndrome, confidence, not feeling good enough, and having an identity crisis. And she figures out how to clone herself to create what she thinks is the perfect identity, and send her clone off to do all the things she's afraid of, only to discover that God already created her the perfect version of herself, and He gave her all the courage she just needed to try. And the whole message is for her to discover that her identity lies in Christ.
Great message.
Man, I love that.
Thank you.
Well, listen, this is a special treat, everyone. We want you to enjoy this trailer from Alexandra's movie, Identity Crisis. Let's watch it right now.
Mirror, mirror, who's the fairest of them all?
Harper, you are the fairest of them all.
How did you do this? You should get dressed up and come with us. I can't, but thank you.
You gotta put yourself out there, Madison, or you might end up regretting all the things you never did.
How do you create a perfect clone?
I don't think perfection is possible.
You can make something better than the original.
Duplicating.
This is incredible! Once we tell everyone, we'll be famous! We can't tell anyone. How are we gonna do this if we can't be seen together? I'll be the one to hide if you do the things I need you to do for me. I have a confession to make, Trevor. I have a crush on you. No. Would you like to go on a date with me?
Sure.
How about the party tonight? Do you want to dance?
I would love to.
Awesome. Does your roommate seem very different all of a sudden? Tonight, she is the life of the party. I've had a crush on you since the minute I saw you. I just used to be really shy.
But you're not anymore.
I changed my genetic coding. I have no idea who I am anymore. I thought I knew what I wanted to be, but now I'm not so sure. Maybe it's time to come clean. Then everyone will find out it wasn't really me all along, and I'll lose everything. I want to live my life, but I need you.
There's nothing wrong with you being shy. Just be you.
What looks like a great movie, and you are a Christian working in Hollywood, which is incredible. How difficult is it to be a believer in the world of filmmaking?
It is very difficult. I have pitched my scripts around and had really terrible things said to me in studio meetings, but I work for the creator of the universe, and I know that I know that God created me to do this. It's my purpose. And that's what Identity Crisis is about, is that we were created on purpose for a purpose, and he gave me a very strong will. And so when I go into a meeting, and we were asked to make Switch, to take God out of Switch to make it raunchy, and I walked away from a huge studio deal and said, no, I will not take God out, and I will not create that message for young girls. We are wanting to empower them and uplift them and inspire them, and we want girls to know that God loves them. So it is very challenging, but I also feel like if you just, anything in life that feels challenging, if you just imagine that you are working for the creator of the universe, they don't even impact me when they say things, because I'm like,
nothing's impossible.
That's right.
What's impossible for me is possible for God, so I have to just keep going and going.
You gotta take a stand.
So God can work through me.
Yeah, I worked in secular television for almost 20 years, but I never thought I'd go back to TV because, there's some good and bad things that happen. But then sure enough, God brought me back, but I work for him. Yeah, he's my CEO, and so I love working for God, and it's been such a thrill to do Christian television. I just love it. Now, you strayed away from your filmmaking, producing, and you wrote a book called Create Your Own Career in Hollywood, Advice from a Struggling Actress Who Became a Successful Producer.
Sure.
What kind of advice do you give those who are trying to make it in Tinseltown?
Yes. Well, I think finding your tribe, finding a group of people who want to do different things than you. As an actor, I used to only hang out with actors. And then I realized, well, that's not going to work if I want to make my own movie. I got to find someone who wants to be a director, someone who wants to hold the boom. And then treating people well. It is so important in this industry that we treat our crew well, our team well. I've been working with some of the same crew members for over 12 years, and we have created a tribe, and we've become a well-oiled machine, and we're able to make things kind of on a smaller budget, but that are beautiful and incredible because of the team we have built. I also really want to encourage women to get into women's groups. That was life-changing for me in Los Angeles, to be a part of Hollywood Prayer Network, to be a part of Women in Film, and I'm such a champion for other women. I always crew up 51% women on my set, all my film star women, and so I think the power of having women champions, and there is and ask for what you need, ask for what you want. The answer is already no if you don't ask.
Exactly.
That's what I tell myself all the time. So if you know that you have a calling, you need to do it, then you got to go for it. You got to ask for what you need, and then just do it. And read the
like
book.
A commercial.
Just do it.
You are incredible.
Oh, thank
wow. What an inspiration you are. I cannot wait to see these films. I mean it.
Thank you.
If you want to reach out to Alexandra Boylan or find out more about her film work, you can navigate to her website, theboylansisters.com.
Could I add one more thing?
Yes.
So all of our films come with companion materials. They come with Bible studies, youth groups, so that the families can watch these and start a conversation. We really want to start conversations and give parents tools to talk about the theme of the movie. So on our website have all of our companion materials. We even have high school curriculums. We even wrote a novel that goes along with identity crisis. So to really dive into her mind and to provide more things for young kids to have good messaging.
That's great. And I want to spell out your name, Boylan. So when you go to that web address, that's how you spell her last name. So thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
From promos and commercials to full-length shows, Horizon Media Studios can script, voice, and fully produce programming for television, streaming, and other media. For 15 years and 250 ministries, this Christ-centered 501c3 nonprofit ministry is dedicated to high-quality production and helping other nonprofits produce media. Horizon Media Studios is seeking new ministries to feature. Tell us your story, 561-313-3165.